How's everybody doing?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. How about you?
Great.
Awesome.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
I'm going to tell you, your last image where you have like the Ouija board headstone. If I were
Yeah.
going to be buried, I would want that headstone.
Fun fact, that's actually the founder of the Ouija board's headstone. One of the founders.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but if you can find one of those Ouija boards,
hmm
it's worth a lot of money.
Well, I've decided if I ever find one that looks really interesting and cool, I'm going to send it to this buddy of mine who keeps stuff out of hands like
I'll
that.
take it. If you guys missed Northern Lights last night, you can just look at Tully's screen. He's got them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
very good.
Y'all, that is like my bucket list item. And I went out there. I got up at 2 a.m. to go outside and look because they said that you could see them better. I couldn't see shit.
The only thing that happened to me because I went out every hour on the hour trying to see it. I remember that I was scared of the fucking dark.
Well, Wilson's got all these, ankle breaking holes in the backyard. So I'm out there with my flashlight.
hmm
I
Well,
don't know.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Tully.
You're fine.
I was talking about, the settings on the phone, and I thought about it when you asked this morning. You have an Android and I have an iPhone, so my settings probably won't work on your phone.
Yeah, well, Stevens. So you and Stevens were definitely the best photos that I've seen of the Northern Lights, and Stevens got the Galaxy S4 million, and mine is not a Galaxy S4 million.
My thing is, I don't.
Craig.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see them on the phone. I want to see them with my eyes, and apparently can't because it looked a little red, but you couldn't tell anything.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
I could kind of see something, but it wasn't enough because we had so much. I guess it was almost like a haze. Because when I looked at the moon, it was like it had something over it. I could see the moon, but I couldn't see the moon.
So
I do want to say one thing. I started thinking about it, and it kind of reminds me of that movie Maximum Overdrive. What if this makes all the fucking cars and like electronics come alive?
I love that. I hope so. I'm ready.
I don't. That was horrible. And that's the one no, I'm thinking of the Stephen King one with the truck. That was the big.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah,
that was terrible.
It was brought on by the green lights in the sky.
So if you ever
about 100. Go ahead, Tully.
I'm sorry. I was just going to tell you it's either Elijah Bond's gravestone or it is William Fold's gravestone.
Okay.
FULD. Those are so Bond kind of created the first Ouija board and then handed it off to Fold and his partners, which brought it into the mainstream. And then Parker Brothers took it over from there.
Right.
And then Hasbro took over Parker Brothers.
Nice.
And now it's a children's toy.
Yes, it is. Not that I'd ever give one to my kids, but
Craig something about Auroras. Ain't that the thing around your nipples?
I don't know about that, dude.
No.
We need a fact checker on that one.
Something different.
Well, young, about 100 years ago, before everybody had a cell phone, I used to have to go on Friday nights and pick Mo up out in the country because that's where his company was. So he'd call me from Jackson, which is about 50 miles from home, and say, "Hey, I'm in Jackson. Meet me out at the shop." And I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I go out there and I'm sitting there listening to the radio, and I get to looking up and I keep seeing all of these flashing lights. And I sat there for an hour and a half, not realizing he's not here. Because I was sitting there looking at all these cool ass lights. So finally, I realized after about 2 hours that he hadn't shown up yet. Went back home, and he had actually met one of his friends, and they had picked him up and taken him home. And the next morning on the news, they were talking about the fact that you could see the Aurora Borealis that night. So, I've seen it. Stop.
Keep it clean, kids. Keep it clean.
That fucking comment. I'm done.
All right, let's get started. We got a long video now. So
It is long. You told me you wanted footage. I got you footage.
you got us plenty. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we'll be watching.
All right. So what you'll be watching is a video from historic Glenwood Cemetery in Yazoo City, Mississippi.
Oh,
Um,
I literally
yeah, I
thought
know.
it was called Yazoo Cemetery.
No, it's not, but that's okay. That's all right. I figured we'd get it all, straightened out.
It's Yazoo
So,
Cemetery in my heart, is what I'll say.
it is. There you go. That's the only one that matters. So, anyway, the oldest estimate is that it was started around 1856. There are headstones from earlier than that, and I didn't really realize it until I was out there that there were older ones, but they moved a cemetery from somewhere else, and those graves were actually, part of it now also. But its claim to fame is the witch's grave. It's the place we used to cut class and go sit, during, study hall and stuff. And, it had, chains around it, and they broke the chains, and she came and she burned down every business in town, plus over 200 residences.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was going to say, we need to give some background on the witch.
I've got a link. I'll post in the comments.
Okay, awesome. And there was this witch that lived out on the river, and supposedly she was luring in people on the river and torturing and murdering them. And a young boy heard screaming, so he pulls his little raft up and goes and looks in the window, and there's a dead guy, and she's torturing someone else, and he goes and gets people from town. Well, they come back, and the witch sees them coming and takes off. They can't find her, and then they finally hear screaming, and she has evidently fallen into some quicksand and is drowning. So they decided, well, we're just going to let her drown. That way we don't have to deal with it. Well, before she finally went under, she told them that she would be back and gave them a specific date. And I cannot remember it for the life of me now, but it was 20 years in the future, and that she was going to burn down the town. So they dug her body out of the quicksand and then buried her. And then they put chains all around the grave. Well, 20 years to the day that she had named, the town catches fire, burns down every business and 200 residences in the town. And when they went to the grave, the chains were broken.
I'm sorry, but people should have learned over history, over time, if you leave your ops and, stranded, they're going to come back for you eventually.
Exactly.
You just need to deal with it.
I think she suffered from this right here. There you go.
Same deal with Darth Vader, right? Like the same principle. Like he just left him and thought he was dead enough, and look how that turned out.
Well, and the thing is, her curse was she was going to burn down the whole town. So then the fear is if that last chain is ever broken, so that there are no chains left, that she will come back and finish what she started.
Now, guys, I did ask Morgana personally to bring back a chain link from this grave, and she tried, but was unable to succeed.
Yes.
I did not condone this. I did not condone this.
And Tully, I even have evidence that I tried in the video.
We just won't show
just
that part.
For you.
Well, I have always wanted to go to the witch's grave. I read about it in Good Old Boy, one of my favorite books.
Hey, Landa.
And I have always wanted to go, so I am very excited to see your video.
Well, I did not realize until I was there. I knew that he was oh crap.
Willie
My
Morris.
mind just Willie Morris was buried there, but I did not realize that he is literally 10 feet from the witch's grave.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Willie Morris was a Mississippi writer, best known for My Dog Skip, Good Old Boy, and My Cat Spit McGee.
Is it Landa's birthday? Happy birthday, Linda.
It's always Landa's birthday.
It's always Landa's birthday. Yeah.
Well,
I remember that last weekend.
Yep.
Well, let's get right into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Let Let me make sure the sound's off. There it is.
Okay. Oh, that's one of those tree stones.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Alan.
There are quite a few of those tree stones in this cemetery that I don't remember from when I was a kid. But now, then, like I said, we specifically went to hang out at the witch's grave when we were teenagers.
I think when I looked through, so, back in the day, Sears used to make a lot of these headstones.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a catalog of them. And I think that those old tree stones, and maybe even ones like this, were like catalog stones that people could order.
They were, but one thing I did notice, and I think I got some closer up video of it, is they all seem to be part of some specific organization that had that tree one.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys can do us a favor in the comments, let us know if it starts clipping.
It's smooth.
Yes.
All right.
I just put it on the TV.
Right there. Do you see that right there?
What are we looking at? Which part are we looking at?
I love the gravestones. I love that. Like one of them got like a crooked cross on it, but the other one's got like some kind of leaf. I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
I thought it looked like a feather to me.
A feather. That's what it is. That's what I mean when I say leaf.
It is interesting that they got the borders kind of concreted like that to the plots.
There are a lot of family plots here. And at one time, my understanding was they were trying to keep it like alphabetical. And that went out the window, over the course of time. But a lot of where you see these borders, it's because they were family plots.
Mike said it looks black as night to him.
And something else that I noticed that I had not noticed so much as, a teenager is there are a lot of baby and children's graves in this cemetery.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
That kind of spooked me the last time I was out alone, and the spirit box started talking about kids, and I'm walking past kids' graves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, and it's really, I'm going to use the word funny, but not funny, haha, that it seems like every time I saw one, for the most part, they were tiny. It's like in proportion, I guess, to the child or something. But like I said, there were some very interesting ones. One thing that freaks me out is when you see the ones that are the flat ones with like the thing on top of it, and it looks like it's crackling and crumbling along the edges. I hope a hand doesn't stick out of there, or any other body part.
When I see some of these, stones,
That's
Mhm.
nice.
I really want to go up and like knock on them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a brief period where they made some stones out of maybe not aluminum, but maybe cast iron or something.
Aluminium.
And when you knock on them, they're hollow. And I've yet to find one out in the wild. There was like a 2-year period where they were all the craze for people who pre-ordered their stones.
Mm-hmm.
And the allure was that they lasted, 10,000 years or something longer than stone.
Right. Yeah. And that's, and of course, the time I choose to go here, there is a huge funeral procession going in ahead of me.
Oh, yeah.
And then when the funeral was over, what I can only assume were some of the pallbearers, since they were all dressed exactly the same, decided to drag race down the backside because there's like this long straight hill and everything. And I'm like, okay, nobody, wrecked. So
I hope that you were dressed from head to toe in pitch black and you didn't have any skin showing and that you had a derby hat on.
Yeah, I'm going to start dressing like that when I go out to get footage just to freak people out.
It's going to look on a fucking GoPro like this. So.
I might try that next time, but I have to be honest with you. It was 85 degrees out there, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Him saying that there's an active serial unaliver
yes,
in the graveyard really freaked Rachel out last night when I told her.
That was
Did
in
it?
the 1800s. Look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the dude. if you saw the area around that graveyard right now, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
See, I'm not sure kind of what those are supposed to be. You know, see like that. See that big old crack down the side of it with the hole in it and everything?
Oh yeah.
Wow. You know, if I ever like get to where I don't have to work anymore, I'm gonna go and start just staying in a mausoleum. And then anytime somebody comes up to film, just stick my hand through it and grab them.
See,
I would
that's what
love that.
mean.
Like that'd make my day, dude.
Mhm.
I bet you would poop your pants though.
Mausoleums are like, I love the intricacies of some of the mausoleums. Just like they choose different painted glass, and what the image is, and how the light is diffused in there. Like I don't know.
There are
It's
not
morbid, but
Yeah, I don't think there are but like 2 mausoleums in this entire cemetery. Now, I probably didn't see but maybe a quarter of it because there are all these different there is and it's not so much this way now, but at one point there was the black section. There was the Jewish section. It was a very segregated
They have a
cemetery.
Jewish section there?
They do. Mhm.
That's intriguing to me.
Yes.
Because
And
there's
it was
a Jewish cemetery in Jackson. And I would
right.
think they would have gone there because they get buried differently. They get
Yes.
buried in a shroud. And
Right. But yeah, there's actually and it was a smaller section, but there was a small Jewish section at one point
very
and
interesting.
everything. So
I saw another tree stone a second ago.
I've seen those before.
I hadn't seen them until I moved to the north.
Neat.
and,
I like how
I had
everybody just kind of skimmed over the fact you just passed the person that invented pepper. They're like,
What?
He's so funny. But and that was one thing. And like I said, maybe it's just familiarity, but I am always so at peace in this cemetery.
So no weird vibes?
I don't know if it's the no weird vibes. It's just vibes I know.
She was 15 years old. She's out there hanging out. So
Yeah.
that's her energy that's there.
I got you. Like the fond memories.
Exactly. Because like I said, we spent so much time there and everything. And sadly, I literally, my uncle, my grandfather, my father, and my child are buried in this cemetery. And I can't tell you the last time I went to their graves because they're not there for me.
Yeah.
But just hanging out like this and walking around and looking at the old part, I absolutely am completely at peace with. Yes, I was a 15-year-old tramp, Craig.
I started to say, Craig, dude, you're out of control tonight, brother.
He's been drinking. Craig's into his cups.
Uh-huh. And, like I said, you see a lot of those little bitty ones, and everything. And I started looking a little bit closer and I'm like, those are all kids, those are the kind of things I didn't notice as much when I was a teenager.
It's hard to notice when you get wild.
I know.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love the aesthetic of the places that you've taken us in Mississippi so far.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that kind of off about it is there's no flowers. Like up here, you see flowers.
Sometimes you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they clean them up too, and I bet you tomorrow it's full of flowers.
Well, and that's the thing too is I noticed they had just gotten through cutting it and cleaning up like the fall debris and stuff. So they may have actually cleaned a lot of that up at same time.
When I go to Louisiana next,
hey Dave, I just saw Dave. Dave Reed is.
Hey David.
Oh, David Reed.
Oh, David Reed, one of my favorite people who we never get to see.
Yep.
Well, when I go over to Louisiana, I'll try and take some footage over there where my dad grew up. He donated a bunch of land to the funeral. Like it's next to the land he grew up on. and I'll have to tell you all the scary stories he told me about walking through that graveyard at night.
Definitely. Definitely.
But it has a lot. Like anytime
love
you
that
go,
one.
there's a lot of flowers, but then you can see where they've cleaned up, and they have like a ditch where they put all the flowers when they've cleaned them up, like the plastic ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that, and I mean, like I said, to me, it's this one doesn't have the huge, because I know when you were at Spring Grove,
Yep.
Spring Grove, that's what amazed me were the huge,
Yeah.
the markers and stuff, because as you see, there were a couple taller than me, but on average, they're just kind of smallish.
I wish like maybe I'll have to get like some kind of point of reference for when I'm walking through there next time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them are legit like 80 feet tall, like
Right.
obelisks.
Wow.
Just hold your
Yeah.
hand up in front of the camera like that.
Now,
like-
these are big to me. You don't normally see them like that, like at these little country cemeteries I go to.
Mhm.
But you know what? Maybe for next month I'll take a trip out and do an hour at Spring Grove.
Mhm. Yeah. And like I said, it's to me, it was easy to do an hour just walking around looking, because like I said, and I still didn't get nearly all of it, but
What's the
Craig?
UP?
ma'am,
Craig said when he's up in the UP 2 weeks from now, he'll have to take some pictures of the cemeteries up there.
Upper Peninsula is what I'm going to translate that as, of Michigan.
Take us some videos, Craig, like
Yeah,
on your
Craig.
phone.
Yep, absolutely. Because that's all I'm using is my cell phone. I just made sure it was fully charged when I got there and just started walking through. So
It's actually really smooth tonight.
shh, don't say it too loud.
You're right.
I was on here about an hour before you guys got on here letting it load, so hopefully it stays up.
Yeah, and that's what I did this morning, is just sit there and let it load while I was working. So,
Well, it's a pretty cemetery.
and there's a little sign when I go out in front of it. That is like a mass Confederate grave. Every one of those headstones say unknown.
So those are
And-
Confederate soldiers?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
that may be a first so far.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, it was just the fact that, and like I said, I didn't know if we'd be able to read that or not, but I did read it to make sure I could say that's what it is there were, and they don't know how many are buried there.
Oh,
So
wow.
they just put, the border around it and just put, a bunch of
wow.
unknowns up there.
So-
And then it's got a little marker that tells the story of what it is.
So yeah, that's the first Civil War battle headstones, I guess, that we've seen, and it could be a mass grave, or it is a mass grave for sure.
Yes, it is a mass grave. Like I said, because they said that nobody knows exactly how many were actually buried in that grave.
Gosh, this aesthetic is crazy.
Yeah, every one of these are really nice. Nice.
This is the first graveyard I think I've ever seen that borders their plots. I've never seen bordered plots like that before, like concreted off.
I've seen it, but not to this extent. Like there's a lot of them boarded off. But I've seen plots boarded off. There's a graveyard in Manchester where there's a little family section that's boarded.
I think that's
Border.
Morgana's.
Yes, that's Daisy. Or no, actually, that's a little bit the Chiweenie. She hates my son, and my son just walked in. Sorry for the noise,
Oh,
guys.
you're fine. We all have animals.
Well, y'all know in mine. I think that weather that we had the other night and these solar storms, have got my dogs acting stupid. So
Yeah,
Wilson has been a real jerk lately.
I'm gonna blame it on. I'm gonna blame my dog's stupidity on that too, even though it happens whenever.
Well, he's just been like real. I don't know if y'all heard him last night when we were on air. He just starts growling at Boudreaux. So
I don't think I heard that.
Well, it was like right up on my ear. So I had to turn. Well, it might have been Thursday night. Can't keep my day straight, but he got yelled at. So
Rita, if you're still on here, you need to come down here sometime for WITF, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Anytime,
yeah.
anytime you want.
We
Yeah,
miss you.
absolutely. I miss you
Yes.
more. I'm wearing a shirt you got me. That's how much I miss you.
That's true love. That's true love there.
Yeah.
Wearing your t-shirt.
But once upon a time, those big markers like that were family grave plots because they would sell them. You'd buy a plot of like 6,
Oh yeah. Okay.
graves.
Yeah.
And they actually at one time it was separated off alphabetically. So they would plant you in the T's because your name's Tully.
Yeah.
And but like I said, then it outgrew all of that because then other people started buying
Ooh.
plots in it and everything.
What's
That-
up with
Because
the crooked crosses? They're everywhere down there.
a lot of it's the ground settling.
No, it was like
No.
engraved crooked.
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
it's I think it's Jesus bore the cross.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's new to me too, Cecil.
I've never seen that.
I'm just
See?
guessing that's what I would think it meant.
Landa said crooked people.
I like it. See, look, see, a hand could come out of there.
Crooked crosses for crooked people. Yeah, no, I'm waiting for it. I'll welcome it. I gotta.
Oh, let's see.
Well, where's the witch's grave?
That's a chimney right there, right? What was that?
I saved it for later.
Yeah, you gotta save the showstopper for last.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I especially wanted to make sure that any questionable activities were closer to the end.
Yeah.
That's the odd time to realize there ain't nothing to see here.
Well, I keep seeing cars roll by too, so I'm like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that was when the funeral was breaking up.
I love those split stones.
Isn't that
like
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And something else I noticed, and I think I'll show a few of them later, is there are these obelisks that you walk around it, and there are different markers on each side of it. So it'll be an obelisk, and on like this side, it'll say, this person born this year, died this year. Then you go to the next side, and it's this person born this year, died this year. So it's like a family obelisk.
Yeah. I was gonna say there are some stones like that where it's like these massive stones, and then in front of it it'll be the family.
Uh-huh.
And they've
Yep.
each got their own like flat stone in front of the huge one.
Yep. I think there are a couple of those here.
It's a mixed bag though. Like some people have just like one name on one of those obelisks.
Yeah.
I think it depended on how highfalutin you were.
That's right. Some of us have a little flat stone.
Yeah.
Some of us have a nice family plot.
Well, and I'm just like, out of all the things to spend money on, how much you think a 80-foot tall marker would cost?
Shit. Now about $40,000 probably. If not
That's
more.
it?
If not more. We can find out.
I'm just thinking the concrete for that would be, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like the sculpting and stuff. Like, I don't know. I was thinking like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I do know that those we've got a couple of crosses at restaurants down here that are huge. I mean, several 100 feet tall. And the last I heard, those run about 200,000 and they're aluminum. So I can't imagine concrete.
Okay, so when are we getting into the aluminum cross building business?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I will build it and you can pay for it. I mean, I'm happy to take your money.
Or we could get into the headstone making business.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, if that's sanctioned at all, like whether you have to be like licensed to be a headstone builder.
They make a lot of money and they are hard to come by.
I will say that my great I don't even know what you would call it. It was my great grandfather's uncle or something chiseled his own headstone and had his brother chiseled the death date in.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I think his name was
He got
John.
what he wanted.
So
Yeah.
one that's about 5 feet tall is $4,469.
Extrapolate that. What does
I
that
have
come out to?
found a Catholic cemetery gravestone symbols in their meeting. So I'm going to figure this out.
Cool.
I'm
Well-
assuming if you take an 8 foot tall one that's $4,469 and you times it by 10, it'd be 40,000 for 44,690. What is it?
Oh, look at that one. Hang on. Wait. Back that up just a couple seconds. That was a crazy stone, dude. That's too far.
Well, yeah, obviously run into it, won't it?
And see,
Not that
occasionally
one.
you will see a new one up amongst all those old ones. So
Yeah.
obviously there's still some family stuff going on in there, but it's some that are just wild like that.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. Someone told them they can't take it with them, and they said, "You want to bet?" So they put a 100-foot tall obelisk.
I want just that big chunk of stone. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
forward leaning?
Yeah. Ah!
Where's it at, bro?
Just 2 seconds back. Right
This
there.
one. Yeah, this one. Look
See
how
the
weird that
angels
is.
leaning forward.
Huh.
This
And
doing the Michael
it's not
Jackson.
broken. Yeah, it's not broken that way. It's actually built that way.
Huh. It's a thriller.
Yeah, that may be the craziest stone of the knot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the witch's grave.
We
Yes.
hadn't seen it yet, so we can't.
Salty about it.
Patience.
Is it tilted cross on gravestone? Okay, a sideways cross indicates that the crucifixion is over. Jesus has already laid down his life, been removed from the cross, and risen from the dead. Hence, the symbol of Christ's finished work shows faith that the departed soul will be resurrected.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't all of them be sideways then?
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I don't know.
like by that logic.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what they want on their stone. There's no doubts for these people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has kind of got a question mark.
Okay, I've changed my mind. I don't want a Ouija board. I want just a big question mark.
Yeah. Absolutely. That'd be awesome. Just have a big question mark on your gravestone.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna get a Hyundai symbol on mine.
I want to know what the trees mean.
Like I said, I remember reading, and like I said, I stopped and looked at it, but that's one thing I'm noticing is that the writing doesn't necessarily show up as good as it looked to me.
I think
See, that's one of the ones you're talking about that has the big family headstone at the end and then the individuals going down.
yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay, that's not what I was talking about, but that is crazy. I've never seen one
Mhm.
like set up like this.
Yep. Because I got to look at it, and like I said, it was all the same family names and stuff. And then at the end, it had like an actual name on it.
I found a 14 footer.
Why would you say a Hyundai symbol?
I don't know. Just something to confuse people. Get a Hyundai symbol.
Okay, the
and,
tree stump stones are part of a movement to turn the focus of death back to life, and they are a unique form connected with the secret societies of the time.
Who sold them?
Ooh.
Does it say who sold them?
Rockefeller.
That's not the site I'm on. I'm on one about the tree stump stones.
That's what I'm asking about. I'm wondering if they're like if they were catalog stones or not.
I don't know. Apparently, they're associated with secret societies. Here you
I'm
go.
gonna have Frankie mold me a stone that's a V and put the Hyundai symbol in the middle of it, and then at the end put fingers.
Well, Morgana's getting a question mark, and we're going to have to put a lady's hand coming out from under the gravestone.
Yes, I
Oh.
want that too.
Craig, I'm pretty sure it's probably because you threatened physical violence against somebody a minute ago.
What is that?
Like, what are you talking about, dude?
What happened? I didn't see it.
He said his account got restricted because of this.
What?
Right here, Swayze. Is there a bunch of Swayzes in the area? Is this where Patrick's at?
Yeah. No, Patrick does not go there, but see, that's one of those that has different people around it.
I wish I could send you I could just snip it out, Craig. Like the part, like as soon as you said it, I'm like, yeah, he's cooked.
What did he say?
I don't want to say it. It'll
Do
get us
not yell
banned.
at your dog. Just don't.
Oh, well, I don't yell at my dogs. I yell at Wilson. Wilson's part hyena and part giraffe.
Sweet. Look at the little bird bath.
Did I get video the huge like you know how you can get the polished spheres at crystal shops and stuff?
Yeah.
Somebody has a gravestone that's like a 2,000-pound one of those.
Yes. See, that's cool as hell to me.
You can get those
That
at
kind of
there
stuff.
too. I was
Well,
looking when you get it.
Apparently, Craig
Yes.
threatened me, and I didn't even see it.
And that is a deep bird bath. Birds would drown in that bird bath.
Maybe it's to take a bath.
Maybe it's a planter. Like a
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe that's where they're supposed to put their plants.
Maybe.
totally when I go get Frankie to make that stone for me and put a planter and grow weed plants on it. That's what I need. That's what I need.
Remy is howling right now, so I'm having to like throttle mute.
Both of mine are sitting right here and being nice little dogs.
Yours
Look,
are
there's
always
another crooked
nice.
cross. There was another one.
I seen two more a minute ago. They're everywhere.
Well, they got the thumbs up for the resurrection.
There's another secret society member.
Phil Lynch.
I feel like it. I swear to God, there had to be like one company that made all these, all the tree stump stones.
Yep.
Well,
See, the S, that's like I said, used to, it was alphabetical, you know, and that's, I guess, how they sold them.
Yeah, probably how they figured out where to put them.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it probably got confusing after
Craig,
100 years.
I'm not saying that you. I'm not saying you threatened anyone directly. I'm saying physical, like you were talking about physical violence, dude.
I didn't even notice, Craig. I'm over here looking at tree stump headstones on another page.
And where you're on Facebook, like Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, is finicky when it comes to stuff. As you know, like you could post the wrong picture and your account gets took down.
They're leaning crosses, Mike.
I posted a picture of myself with my shirt off and they banned me for nudity.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
That's a neat one. The one that's like a little house.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see, that's one of those that has different ones on each side.
Craig, I'm just a
Okay.
messenger, dude. I didn't say it.
In Braden, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
That's some like I like how well kept this place is. Honestly, like you can see where they went around each each stone with a weed eater.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
didn't they? Didn't someone just? Oh, was that? Did you see that?
Look at that one.
That's
What?
wild. On the other side of that stone, they had like the
The
rebel-
Confederate cross, yeah. Or
Oh.
Confederate flag, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have several there, and each time, you know, the dates coincide with them, you know, dying.
It's
during
crazy
the war.
that there's so much like Civil War
Mhm.
era stuff. I don't think I've ever seen that. Like maybe one-offs, but not like prominent
Yeah.
groups.
I've seen one right at the beginning that looked like a above ground grave that had a Confederate flag on it.
Mhm.
The stars and bars.
Yep.
That's right, Craig. You can just blame Hadley.
Just blame me. Blame me. Sitting here minding my business.
Those are crooked crosses, man. I also don't know about them.
They're the thumbs up. The thumbs up to the afterlife.
No,
And
I
Mike
mean, this
Lewis
is-
says another meaning is that a leaning cross is the battle between life and death.
I like that.
I like that.
I'm
That's
just
like
reading
some-
what that lady wrote about it. So
That sounds like something that Dio would have wrote a song about or something.
Yeah.
Right. I saw him in concert one time 100 years ago.
I would have-
Diva.
I would have loved to have seen Dio in concert.
Mhm.
Let's see.
it's kind of getting Blair Witchy.
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the shaking of the camera. Kind of feeling sick.
Morgan's going to turn around in a second. Big snot booger. She's going to be hanging out.
Oh, there's her foot.
Did you have a partner on this one?
No. I was just moseying around.
You did a good job filming it. No shadows, no people running in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Not having to do restaurant moves to get around somebody that's following you.
Yeah, I have to do a lot of that.
Yeah. There's the upside to going by yourself. You
Yeah.
know, I made a point of trying not to be a witness on camera to the racing going on in the back, but you
What
know.
are you looking for?
Nothing. Thought I seen something.
Oh.
I didn't see nothing. Silence. Awkward silence.
Yeah,
Oh.
we need to commentate.
But so Nick, who's in the chat, just sent me his picture that he got of the Northern Lights last night. You guys want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we looking at here?
What the hell, Cecil?
He said he got that picture last night.
I call bullshit. Hey, flowers.
There
I
was
just
flowers.
saw flowers.
So maybe Landa's right. Landa said that if you don't have a holder in some cemeteries, you can't have flowers.
Mhm. I
Well,
do
this is
know
a
that
much larger cemetery than I would have expected. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
old. I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I did know it was old, but I didn't realize it was this big.
We
Yeah.
got a graveyard like that in Manchester, but all the stones are like flat. And the reason they do that is because you can put the vase in the middle and they can take up all the bases when they mow. I think they're
Mhm.
just lazy and don't want to go around anything, so they just
So-
drop it. So
Mike said the crooked cross, which is different than a leaning cross, can mean the grave of a soldier or someone who believes in the soul's judgment and redemption on Judgment Day, or it can mean repentance.
I don't like to see big holes like that in graveyards.
yeah,
No.
it's yeah.
It makes me feel like somebody climbed out.
You know, it's not beyond the realm of possibility, apparently.
After I watch My Boyfriend's Back, man, I can't get over it.
Yeah.
What?
What?
You ever watch My Boyfriend's Back, the movie?
I've never seen that. No.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's first film. Matthew Fox's first film.
No.
You need to check it out. It's fucking awesome. But- My Boyfriend's Back. Good movie. I've got it over here.
No. I thought you were literally talking about your boyfriend.
That's what it sounded like. I was like, what?
That's
David
what-
Reed is in the house now.
I was like, that was pre Mandy for sure.
It reminds me of My Boyfriend's Back. Duh.
I will tell you that occasionally someone will try to plant, a tree or a bush or something like that, and they do pull them up
Mm,
And it's
because
because,
it makes it difficult to mow.
yeah,
no.
Mhm.
in other graveyards, those are considered like protected.
Mhm.
So, like if they start getting big, they're considered protected, and they're not allowed to cut them down.
Right. Yes, magnolias are not allowed to be cut in Mississippi because it's a state tree, and on the coast, you cannot cut down a live oak without an act of God.
Well, I haven't done it yet, but I will for the sake of the show this next time. But so people have planted like bushes on their gravestones,
Mhm.
and now the bushes are so big you have to walk into the bush to the
Oh,
middle of
wow.
the bush to get to
Uh-huh.
see the actual gravestone.
Yeah. See, there's another Confederate flag.
He was a native citizen of some kind. I want to see what he was. It said native citizen. I want to see
Uh-huh.
what that
That's
after that.
weird. What does that even mean?
Well,
Look at that one. That one's real nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's another one of those stones like, oh, there's a very ornate
There you
cross.
go.
Native citizen of Yazoo City. That means he was one of the first citizens. Right? Ain't that what it
No.
means?
Well,
not
Uh-huh.
not in 1840. That person was almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
well, maybe he was born and raised in Yazoo City his whole life.
Mm,
1846.
good point. That's probably what it means.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Linda. Like sometimes, at least in some states, anything that's planted around graves are completely protected. Like you can't
Mhm.
cut them down or
So,
anything.
so in Georgia, or in this area, it's illegal to cut magnolia trees. You said?
And yeah, in Mississippi, it's illegal to cut a magnolia tree.
And it should be because they're beautiful.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of jerkish if you just like got 300 or 400 of them and went down here and planted them one night?
Well, and that's the thing. When they first built
Diabolical.
when they first built the Beau Rivage down here, they had this big atrium in the middle of it, and they had 11 magnolias brought in. I mean, full grown. That they had transplanted, and then they started dying, and they had to get rid of them. They had to have permits in order to cut them down.
In
Yes, Craig, Jerry Clower, that would be the one.
in
I thought he was from Liberty.
No, he lived in Liberty when he passed away, but he grew up with Willie Morris.
Okay.
Mhm.
in southeastern
He
Kentucky,
cracks me up.
in the wintertime, the magnolias are the only trees other than the occasional, because all the pine trees got killed by worms or bugs.
Those pine beetles.
Yeah. So now about the only evergreen trees are the magnolias.
hmm I've got one in my backyard that I have to keep little ones out of on a weekly basis.
I love
because
them.
it's got one limb low enough that they can pull up into it, so that's their tree. And I'm like, no, get out of the magnolia. Because Katrina took all of my big oak trees.
I am amazed at how big this graveyard is.
It's very
That's
beautiful.
a nice tree.
I'm in lock mode right now, trying to see ghosts or something.
You never know.
Never know.
Yep.
Well, I'm
It's
going to say this because it was topic of conversation. I do not threaten my dogs, just so y'all know. They're not threatened.
I threatened mine.
I was saying, I threaten
these are the
mine
most
daily.
spoiled animals you've ever met. Boo Bradley won't wear a collar, so he don't get to go nowhere. He has to sit in the house all the time because he's so fragile that I don't want to upset him by putting a collar and a leash on him. Wilson, on the other hand, truly is part hyena and part giraffe.
I know
Well-
you mine spaz. And
Yeah,
he's so fat he has to wear a harness. So he's walking with a harness
the
too.
one that was doing the loud barking, the one that's part basset, you can't take her out without a a collar and a leash, or she hits the woods, her nose hits the ground, and you don't see her for hours.
Well,
And then you have to corner her in to finally get her caught. We discovered that the day we brought her home.
Boo is one of those lockdown puppies.
Mhm.
So he's just a little bit skittish and weird.
Uh-huh.
Wilson, on the other hand, is like a diesel truck.
Mhm. See,
What?
those are cool as hell.
Oh yeah.
Lots of
I've never
clover.
seen anything like that.
It almost reminds me of a crown or like a bishop on a chessboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
very neat.
That's exactly what that looks like. That's nuts.
Hmm.
Huh.
That's the first time I've ever seen one like
Yeah,
that.
that's nice. Nice.
Landa, my perfect dog is Winter. She doesn't do anything, and she just tries to avoid the boys.
Oh,
She's probably 12, and I think they're 2 and 3. Or about to be 2 and 3.
do you talk to Bethany regularly?
I mean, not really. I have access to her regularly. I mean, we talk every now and then.
Okay, I was just going to say it. Like, I guess I'll hit her up and see if we can coax her to go out to Tombstone in the next couple months.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cecil's on that group chat. But we have if you are on the Facebook, we have a
Oh,
group
yeah.
chat with all the show
I can't
hosts.
get on Facebook because of the communists.
I hardly ever look at anything on to do with Facebook
That
anymore.
was that Woodland Society is what I saw on several of those that look like trees.
Like Women of the World,
Yes, yes. Hmm.
secret societies.
There's a big red. There's a big pink rock back there. Right there.
Where?
Right
Right
there.
there.
I'm colorblind.
Just to the left.
Yep, it's pink.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it terracotta.
Yes.
Cole's fully woke.
What? No, I'm red green colorblind. Like I can't see some colors.
Craig, that would be great. We would love video, and if you want to hop on,
Yeah.
we'd love to have you on.
Okay, that stone you're saying is pink.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one.
I can kind of see that a little bit.
I wish the dates and stuff would have shown up better. They look perfectly clear when I was watching them.
That says Major and Mrs. Charles Mann. They didn't even
Uh-huh.
put the wife's name on there.
Nope.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest that to Mandy.
I want you to take video when you suggest it.
Man gets pummeled by wife.
That's right.
You should just say Mr. and Mrs. Clarence Fletcher.
Hey, look, there are some lines you just don't cross. My husband said one time 30 years ago, he looked at me and goes, "Who's your daddy?" I'm like, "It's damn sure not your ass." that creeps me out on the level I can't even describe.
That's always freaked me out when people do that shit.
Yeah,
We've got a friend
there's
that
some
does
major
it, and
problems going on.
she does it just because she knows it freaks people out.
Well, I mean, people
So-
who are like serious about it. I'm like, we need to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about deeper issues here.
Yes, absolutely.
How was your childhood?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anybody ask me that, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's been a long life.
Oh, that's the first. Is that the first chain link we've seen?
Yes, that was the first chain link, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. I guess they couldn't afford wrought iron.
I guess. And I mean, it looks old. I mean, it's got, lichen and algae and stuff on it.
For everybody
you
out
know.
there listening to us ramble, we appreciate you being here, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I
Absolutely.
really do.
Absolutely.
And, wherever you're watching, follow us if you don't already.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, we don't care. It's
And
fine.
hey, if you want to go out and explore the folklore, legends, and creepy places where you live, we'll watch it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really what we're
Uh,
trying to do here. We're coaxing you to go out to these places and get us some footage.
It'd be really nice to get different video from different parts of the country. Like so far,
Craig-
we've only Kentucky and a couple in wherever you all are, Mississippi, and Stephen went out once for us down in Arkansas. That's about it.
Not your Kansas.
Craig, lichen is almost like an algae, but it's on stones and metal and trees and stuff like that.
We've got a lot of humidity here, Craig.
Yes,
Ooh,
we
that one
do.
was busted.
Yeah, busted up.
Alan, that would be awesome. We'd love to see it.
Yes. And some of these, are old to the point where you can't even see the dates and stuff on them.
And if you do get videos, you can upload them to your own YouTube channel, or if you don't have one, we can figure out how to get the video uploaded to ours.
Yeah, we've got this
we
is
got
all on a secret YouTube that Cecil created just so we can play videos for you guys.
Yep.
Okay, is it lichen? I don't know. I'm from Central Mississippi, so it's been called lichen all my life.
I'd pronounce that lichen for sure.
Lichen, yeah.
Now I'm going to have to go Google the damn pronunciation because it bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's lichen.
Lichen. See, to me, a lichen is a damn werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just made me snort. That was
What's the T for?
Lichen is a proper pronunciation. If anybody knows me, I can pronounce things good.
I feel like we get caught up on that a lot.
Well, I've been trying to encourage people that I've met recently that live in the area to go out and have an adventure. If they want to go kayaking, take us on their GoPro. We want to experience
Craig,
stuff with y'all.
You're gonna get hit by Facebook again, dude, for hate
Craig,
speech.
our Kentucky friends are hillbillies. We are rednecks.
Yeah, I'm a hillbilly.
No hillbillies in Mississippi. Okay, I'm going to take that back. I know people, but
We have foothills of the Appalachians.
yes, we
Well,
do.
this is crazy, Craig. I don't know about Facebook.
Craig is wound up, man.
I met my wife at the family reunion.
That's a neat wrought iron gate.
Mm-hmm.
On TikTok, they have added hillbilly to hate speech, though.
Is it
really?
Yep, because people use it in derogatory ways. So you get eaten.
People can say ice cream in a derogatory way.
I went from having swamp ass to being a hillbilly. I think.
Look at that one.
Is
that a Celtic cross?
Let's rewind it.
The side of that is very ornate. Like the whole thing was ornate.
Oh, that's neat. Neat skeets.
Let's see. He was born in Nelson County, Kentucky.
Who?
The guy with the Celtic cross.
Nice.
Interesting.
So see, we welcome you guys with open arms. We will bury you here.
That sounded ominous.
Come to Mississippi. We'll bury you here.
That's right. And hey, I can legally bury you and marry you in 48 states.
She can.
You know how they say like animals like find a nice place of comfort to pass away, like if they're outside, like under branches and stuff.
Yeah.
I think when it comes my time, I'm gonna move back to Florida and go out into the glades and let the earth that bred me take me.
The snakes, let the snakes and the alligators and the giant monitor lizards and the monkeys all
take the long walk.
That's true, Landa. Not in that order. I would prefer to marry you before I bury you.
Oh yeah, the other way around.
Well, we call that the corpse bride in my house.
Dun, dun, dun. This is the show to do it on.
Yep.
Oh Lord, I'm tickled.
Oh, God.
You know, there are a lot of oh, what was the word I was looking for? Never mind, it'll come back to me later.
It is a really nice place.
Yeah.
It is. See, we didn't just go hang out there for the morbidity.
Whoa, there was a Mason.
Uh-huh. Yep. There were a few.
Yeah.
Now, see, that is a tilted cross because it has fallen off the headstone.
Yeah.
You know, when I go, I kind of want to be done like Hunter S. Thompson. He had his ashes shot out of a cannon by Johnny Depp. Except I don't want to be cremated. I just want my body shot out of it. That'd be fun. Go on one last flight.
Fun's one word. Hey, I saw one of those cool squirrel suits that you slide off the side of a mountain. I would like to do that.
That was not where I was taking that.
No, it was this. I know, yeah, you know me, shinies. But this guy, he had this flying squirrel suit, and it was snowy on top of the mountain, and he flies off the side of the mountain on his stomach, and then starts looking like a flying squirrel.
Question about this stone.
Uh-huh.
Do you see how the name is wrote?
Yep.
It Wayne.
Hillary Lafayette.
Do you think that this was purposeful, or was the guy just really hammered when he put that on there?
Well,
He ran out of space.
maybe he was chiseling on the letters because this was like what 1915,
Yeah.
and he got to the L, and they went, or he did the Hillary and Taylor, and they're like, wait, we wanted her maiden name in there too, and that's the only way he could get it to
Could
fit.
you imagine that? He'd be like, "Oh shit!"
This is his first day at work. He did not last.
No, Mike, I'm not big into the furries. I know a few people, but that's not my bag.
My wife obviously is.
What?
Mike Lewis said he thought I was going to join the furry club.
Well, I mean, the squirrel suit was out of left field, but who do you know that's a furry?
Michelle.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
It's people you know.
Baldwin grave name ancient Israel king. I don't know what that means. Maybe there was a Baldwin grave a minute ago.
I don't know.
Probably.
We need more intel, Michelle, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, so with the Met Gala thing, people are starting to talk about guillotines again.
Oh, sweet.
And I love the guillotine lore. So
That it wasn't as cut and dry as they thought.
yeah, I can't say all of this, but apparently, I mean, like guillotines were used in fairly recent history, like in the 1900s for sure.
Yes.
1970 was the last one in France.
There you go.
Like,
1970?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
something, yeah.
Whoa.
So apparently, wealthy families for unalivings would pay extra to have the cutioner sharpen the blade because it was very common for it to take 2 to 3 whirls
Mhm.
to get the
Finish
exact
the
result
job.
they were looking for. So unless you were wealthy, you were really going through it like there at the end.
I
Yeah,
wonder
you didn't
why
want to be the third person on my guillotine lineup.
I never understood why they made them lay down with it coming down on the backside. Why not lay like facing forward? Because like even if it didn't go all the way through, it's gonna do the job if it gets halfway through the front, but not halfway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it still beats like before the guillotine, they were beating people on a wheel. so I think it's still is probably a better outcome. But yeah, the Met Gala has apparently sparked the conversation of bringing it back.
How does I don't understand how the people in the frou-frou outfits goes from that to the guillotine.
Well,
I mean, look at the people that go.
I mean,
I'll
I've
be
seen
careful.
the
I'll be careful
outfit.
saying this, but apparently, the tickets were like $75,000 a ticket, and
Whoa.
there was a video of one of them that were like, "Let them eat cake."
Oh,
So everybody's like, yeah, let them eat cake. Let's bring back the guillotines. Absolutely.
So I've just seen a tombstone that reminds me of a story from Somerset, Kentucky, and I think we've seen one before. Let's get back to it. You remember the tell of the guy with the chain on his stone? Bam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So,
What does that mean?
I don't know what that one means, but there was a guy in Somerset, Kentucky who caught his wife with another man and unalived them with a chain around to cut off their oxygen supply, I guess is how we would say it. And so his gravestone, they didn't have the chain link in there, but his gravestone developed a chain link. And like so many people would drive by Mardi Gras beads. Why is there Mardi Gras beads all over
Because that is Willie Morris's grave.
Oh wait, go back. I missed it. I was.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Well, what is it supposed to be?
I have no idea.
Like just
I
a piece
think-
of art.
Yes.
Is it Mrs. No, it's not Mississippi,
No.
is it?
Mm-mm.
It's Willie Morris.
And it's actually two
Well,
pieces.
I mean, I see the name, but just give me a break. I'm blind.
I didn't know if the grave was supposed to be a shape of something or not. Is what I'm saying.
I honestly don't know. That was the first time I'd seen it because I just don't remember seeing it
You ever watch
after he
that?
died.
You watch that movie with Malcolm in the Middle and my dog Skip? It's so sad. It's so
I'm
good.
sorry, I have never
Oh.
seen my dog Skip.
Oh, you should watch it. Or you should read
I
it.
know.
Okay,
I've
so
read it.
change-
I just
Mike says it might be 1966
okay.
for the last guillotine.
Yeah, somewhere
appearance.
around there. Yeah. In France, it's public. Let's see.
I think we could do like a modern spin on the guillotine, though. Like it, have some mood lighting and stuff, like
Have-
fireworks,
Have fireworks shooting out the top.
pyrotechnics, drones. I mean, a point of view camera. We could have it all.
Have them come out like they're coming out during a wrestling match, like fucking wrestling.
Yeah, like just like Idiocracy, like have the executioner come out with a machine gun. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
That'd be fun.
So medieval thinkers sometimes held that a golden chain bound the soul to the body. So broken links on a headstone can mean the severance and subsequent release of the spirit from the body.
Or it can mean there's a vampire in the.
That is correct.
Oh yeah. The chain link in Somerset though, the guy, people make fun of the grave and then they would pass away from the same thing. Chains will wrap around their necks and whatnot. Long story short.
There's more to this story that I want to hear later.
It's on like episode 12 of Bipolar Teddy Bear. Go check it out.
You stupid dude.
It's on the Wearing the Folk YouTube channel. Let's see.
Mike, I don't know if that would help or not.
No.
I mean, if you had pyrotechnics and a GoPro attached to it, and it was okay to stream everywhere, I mean, maybe.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
I wonder where it's at. Which is great.
I'm so excited.
I love how they lean into it. We're like, is this where motherfuckers right here? Oh no, I thought we was gonna.
I made a point of walking back to that so I could show it and then walk that way.
Another tree stump.
How are we gonna find this witch's grave?
It was hard.
It was harder to find Jim Varney.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready. Like, somebody needs to just cut the links and let her come back.
What's the story with this? This is like
Yeah, that's interesting.
it's like an open curtains thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think the dates are actually under the dirt.
Oh wow.
Like
Must be a
quicksand. Like
Must have been a
quicksand.
politician.
You're getting closer to the grave and the dirt's turning into quicksand.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Are those sticks or rebars? Is that it?
That's
That's it.
Wow.
And the last time I saw it, that marker was flat. So they've since stood it back up.
Yeah, it was like if you Google the Yazoo witch's grave, a lot of them, somebody had to have taken a sledgehammer to it.
Oh yeah.
What's that say?
yeah.
Hang on, I
According
can
to okay, there you go.
Yeah, Google it. Google it.
legal.
Actually, use Brave. Fuck Google.
Well, did someone put some flowers on her grave?
Uh-huh. See, there are some flowers, Cecil.
So,
One place.
according to local legend, on May 5th, 1904, the witch of Yazoo City broke out. Hang on, it's still broke in this picture.
Mhm.
Broke out in these curious chain links surrounding her grave and burned down Yazoo City. Writer Willie Morris, classic good old boy, brought national something, the vengeful woman, in honor of Ray Rogers Sr., 21 years old.
Yeah. See, for the longest time, it was just this little flat concrete headstone. That hasn't been there forever.
I totally misunderstood.
So that's not the original.
No, it's not.
I totally misunderstood what the chain links were, by the way. I thought they were
Uh-huh.
attached to the stone.
No, they're like
Okay,
big
no.
cast iron links
And
around the grave.
Here you go, Tully.
Yeah.
Just for you.
I would have totally been equipped with bolt cutters.
There was a guy over at the little guard shack, so I could get those out of the car.
Wow. That
Oh, you
really
did
wasn't
some
what I
drinking?
was expecting at all.
Look
Me-
how big the links are.
Uh-huh.
I know.
I didn't expect that either.
I thought it was gonna be like a headstone. It was gonna have this big chain link wrapped all around it.
I did too. That's what
No. And I did not realize until this trip that Willie Morris's grave is literally like a dozen feet from the witch's grave.
Well, yeah, I don't know what Willie Morris has to do with the Yazoo Witch, though, specifically.
He wrote about
He's
her.
the one who
Oh.
brought the attention
Yeah.
to it.
I got you.
Yeah. There's you another leaning angel, Tully.
Original
More flowers.
stone.
That's so cool, though. That's neat.
I want to know who's leaving flowers at the witch's grave.
I can't find the original stone, Morgana.
I don't know that there were ever pictures of it.
It's
Well,
all.
no, it had to be the original stone would have been cracked or whatever. It was in 1903 when she supposedly broke out.
Yeah, Michelle, I agree. It does look like a very clean break for a sledgehammer or something like that. I don't know what the deal is.
I mean, it could have been anything. Elements. It could have fell
The wrath of
when it fell.
the Yazoo Witch.
It could have been a
Who
punch
knows?
out of the grave.
Yeah.
Shoot, it could have been a tornado.
It could have been. Could've
Made
been
by the Yazoo Witch.
Yeah, it could have been one of them backwards tornadoes.
You know, they said whenever she burned down the city that it almost looked like a fire tornado.
Wow.
Wow.
Fire.
They said that the flames were moving with supernatural ability. Like they were literally like a fire tornado just going down Main Street.
So, okay, the original headstone had the initials TW carved into it. Some people think that the initials stood for the witch, and some thought that it stood for the name Tandy Warren.
Oh, that's an old name, Tandy.
Yeah. And then the second one that they show said the stone that's there now mysteriously fell and split in two shortly after installation. No one knows why.
I do. Look,
So I gotta ask, the energy around her grave, is it different than it is the rest of the cemetery?
Oops.
You know, there's an old feel to it. I've never felt a malevolence, and I don't know if it's because it became, you know, a place that, like I said, we used to just hang out there and everything. So I don't know if, you know, that kind of
I'm just curious.
neutralizes.
I was just curious. There's a feeling of something down below.
you guys know what Michelle means? Like a reproduction.
William
maybe?
Morris, huge talent agents.
I was trying to understand the last part, like reproduction.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know, Michelle.
Michelle,
The stone isn't the original stone. However, if you look online, there are black and white pictures with the stone that's there now. So it's old. It's just not the original.
Well, when did they put that stone up? Do we know?
Had to be.
Well, that boy died in the early 90s.
Well, but there's, legit black and white pictures with that stone. I don't. Maybe they put that on there after.
Had to have, because I know I've seen old black and white ones of Willie Morris at the graveyard, and
I might be
he
able
died in 99, I think.
Let me see if I can find the pic I'm talking about here.
There's some more chess piece headstones right there. They look like that anyway. Those are neat. I really like those.
And apparently the beads are a staple around his stone like that. There's always a set of beads there.
Mm-hmm. Which is really funny to me because we did not celebrate Mardi Gras in Yazoo County at all.
Maybe the fellow loved going to Mardi Gras.
It could have been the St. Patty's Day parade. You know,
we never had a St. Patty's Day parade in Yazoo.
But Willie was big into all that in Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to Jackson.
You know, he used to go and eat at Hal and Mal's like every Friday night. We used to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. I like that.
Okay. I just found a picture of the gravestone that's there now that is not broken. But the boy that it's in honor of died in 1995. So it's newer than that.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it in honor of somebody from 1995, though? That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
They paid for it.
I found it. Hang on. Let me see if this says, is it Ray Rogers?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
yes, Ray Rogers.
Okay. Maybe it's just because it's a newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. I found a good picture. Are you seeing it?
Of the words?
Yeah, it's Willie Morris. It's a color picture, and the new headstone before it was cracked.
Oh no, this is Penny Jackson unveiled the monument, and it's from an old newspaper clipping.
I like that they specified that he's born in Mississippi but died in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Are
you guys putting stuff in the private chat for me to pull up? Is that the...
Well, when you're done, I'll share the newspaper clipping of when they unveiled the new stone. I can't find the old stone, though, still. They definitely had cameras in 1994.
Uh-huh.
Well, the picture that I sent y'all is him posing with it, and then I just sent y'all the article in case y'all want to read it.
I don't think this is actually Ray Rogers because it says he's 21 years old, and this guy looks like he's.
That's Willie Morris.
Oh.
No, I'll yeah. Ray Rogers is very old in this picture.
Yeah,
think
it's got to be a different one. Rogers is a common name up there. So he could have been like a, great great grandson to the original.
Michelle said too many Mardi Gras. maybe not enough.
Too many Mardi Gras. Never enough.
This was amazing, Morgana. I appreciate you going out and getting this footage.
Oh no, like I said, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's been several years since I've been up there, so I had a good time walking around.
That's
And like I said, that's my stomping ground. So
I've got that picture of the Morris cat standing with it before it was broke.
The newspaper clipping.
Another one Hadley sent.
Oh,
Private cheat.
I'm hammering. I just sent y'all an article.
I just realized that every time you have to email me something, you could just drop it in that private chat.
that's a good point.
Yeah, good deal.
I never look at the private. I never even think about the private chat.
I don't either.
well, I have this huge thing about the little notification numbers. I have to make them go away. So when I see it.
That's not necessarily true though, Cecil, because a lot of when that happens, it's like videos that I'm sending from my phone.
Oh yeah, that's true. True. My puppies are starting to come in here. I think the missus is asleep in there because whenever Phoenix gets up about halfway through and goes in there, she don't come back till mommy is passed out.
That's funny.
Neat. And we're back at the beginning of where it all started.
Where it ends is where it begins.
Ain't that the story of life? That was nice.
That was amazing.
All right, here's the picture.
That's Mr. Morris.
That's Mr. Morris. I thought it was that Ray Rogers guy. I was like, damn, he had
He looked rough for 21.
Oh yeah, and if you guys get pictures of this areola bolus tonight, send me one because Nick, who is a avid watcher, sent me this one. He said, "Well,
I took the screen.
You went ahead and took the screen."
Ray Rogers marvels at the stone as its honoree.
Yep.
That can't. It's got to be his grandson or something.
But right here's the picture that he sent of the. So if you guys can get one just as good as that, go ahead and send it to us.
You got to turn your exposure up to get this kind of quality.
That's right. That's right.
I've got to figure out what direction's north.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just turned in circles last night, but I didn't see anything. I went out front, and then all my neighbors had their porch lights on because we lost power for like 10 hours. So everybody was basking in the lights and air conditioning.
That was really interesting video.
That was great.
I love
Thank
that.
you. I'm glad it went as smoothly as because that was my concern with the length of it. Is oh my god, if this thing starts skipping, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, I hope
Okay, I just found another little bitty interesting piece that I have never read before. Okay, we've talked about the fact that they chased her into the woods and she cursed them that in 20 years she will arise and take vengeance on the town with fire and malice. Said so, they put her in the cemetery and they put the headstone, the letters TW on it. and said, as the years passed by, the townspeople gradually forgot about the witch and her so-called prophecy. During the following 20 years, Jim Bob, which was the kid who had seen in the window, got married, became a father of 2 sons and 1 daughter. The middle child, whose name was William, was a roustabout kid, always playing in the town streets, and was known throughout town. On the morning of May 25th, 1904, young William made his rounds around town as usual. On the same morning, a young woman who was preparing for her wedding entered into the hair parlor with all her wedding gifts to show her friends. The woman's servant supposedly knocked over a lantern, which caused the curtains in the parlor to catch fire. For some eerie reason, the winds were unusually strong for this time of year, and the fire quickly spread to the other homes and businesses throughout town. Local and neighboring towns' firefighters came together to attempt to vanquish the flame, but the winds were too strong. As soon as they could put one fire out, another fire had already claimed another residence. When the firefighters were finally able to vanquish the flame, every residence in town had been burned to the ground. After Jim Bob returned home from assisting the firemen, his son William cheerfully approached him and said, "Hey, Daddy." Unsettled by his son's cheerful attitude, Jim Bob replied, "Son, the whole town burned down. What put you in such a good mood?" William remarked, "I know, Daddy, it was terrible, but I was having fun before it all happened." "And what, pray tell, were you doing?" Jim Bob asked. "Well, I met a nice lady in town today, and she danced with me. We were outside the general store right across from the hair parlor having so much fun until all that fire started," William replied. "You mean you were in town when all that was going on? Son, you could have been killed." "I know, Daddy, but Tandy carried me away from the fire."
Oh, I just got chills.
"Who is Tandy?" Jim Bob asked. "She's the lady I was dancing with." "Oh, yeah, she told me to give you this," and he handed his father a letter. "She said she knew you before I was born."
Oh.
As Jim Bob began to read the note that his son had given him, his eyes widened, his face turned pale as a ghost. Folklore surrounding the story claims the note contained a short, simple phrase: "I told you so, Tandy Warren."
I got the chills. I got the chills of proof.
After reading the note, Jim Bob was speechless and raced to Glenwood Cemetery. When he approached the grave where the witch's body was buried, he noticed that the chain around the grave had been broken and there was a link missing. Still holding the note in his hand, he noticed the initials on the grave, TW. To this day, a Tandy Warren cannot be accounted for in a census of Yazoo during that period after the witch's death. While the accused witch's name was indeed Tandy Warren, there is no evidence suggesting that there was another woman by the same name during this era. Did William dance with the devil? I will let you decide.
That story needs a breakdown behind it. That's the most.
That needs to be a TikTok.
They wouldn't let him post the TikTok about the witch.
Yeah, I've still got it in the chamber. I'm going to try again. But
hey, here's you something else to know. Tandy is an Old Norse word meaning fire.
Ooh, what? It gets deeper. That's nuts. But yeah, I do have a Yazoo Witch TikTok in the chamber. Sometime probably in the next month, I'll post it. I posted one tonight. If you love the CCP.
Guys, I gotta jump off. My dogs need to go out. So
okay,
sorry,
all right.
But it was a great show. Had a great time, and everybody be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
All right, girly, you have
Sounds
a good night.
Good. You See ya.
Enjoy.
But yeah, if you are into TikTok at all, we do Folking Wyrd TikTok, same name that you see here. Post all kinds of crazy stories, anything from paranormal, aliens, conspiratorial, legends, myths.
Don't get your mind fault.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
and I posted about the Ball Cemetery in Nebraska today. So, if you don't already follow Weird Realities, hit the follow button wherever you're at, and join us every Friday night. The crew that was just here, plus Stephen, who's not here tonight. We talk about weird stuff every week on Fridays at 8 p.m. And
8 p.m.
we do, if you want a really, really crazy show, we do Wearing the Folk on Fridays at 7 p.m., where we talk about, everything, usually current events, like crazy stuff that you wouldn't see on TV, but we appreciate everybody watching. And
Yep.
we will be back in June with another Folking Wyrd and parts unknown. So tune in. We'll keep you posted on the date.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yep.
And with that,